In today's Leeds news, Phil Hay expects junior Firpo to stay. Multiple Leeds targets drop off the radar. The Mail Plus says Leeds' second signing imminent. Sky Sports Dave Reid on Bamba Dieng to Leeds. Matthias Klick deal to DC United discussed. Abdelhamid Sabiri linked again. And Pat Bamford set for extended period on the sideline. Hey folks, Ger here at The View on the 4th of January with your Leeds news. And after a busy day yesterday with Maximilian Vober coming in, Leeds looks set to be moving again according to multiple places. And we're just going to start off and get straight into this. And we'll just start off with Junior Firpo. And with Vober coming in, there's been talk about Firpo moving on now that Leeds have signed a player who will be primarily playing left back by the looks of things. Hay has said that he expects Firpo to stay at least until the summer. Despite that, and what he has said is that it doesn't sound like Leeds are bringing in another left back. That's what he is saying. He said that, however, he did speak to Jesse Marsh on Saturday, and Max Vober wasn't even mentioned in the conversation. Jesse Marsh is keeping very tight-lipped about transfers. Leeds were bitten badly in the summer with Bamba Dieng, also with Cody Hakpo as well. So Leeds seem to be keeping their mouth tight-lipped at this moment in time on that. But Phil says he expects him to stay. That goes against other things. James Marshman expects Leeds to bring in another left back, which would allow Vober to move into left centre back. That's been said. There are other places that said that Leeds are still very keen on Alfonso Pedraza as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and see what happens. Moving on then, let's have a quick chat about some other targets that Leeds have been linked with in the past that look like they're not going to happen now. And one that we can definitely rule out, which is sad for me, is the move for Martin Terrier. The French left winger / striker suffered a cruciate knee ligament injury last weekend and has been ruled out for at least 8 months with that injury. That means he missed the rest of the season. 25-year-old was a target of Leeds. Was something they looked at heavily in the summer and couldn't get done. The owner of the club actually financed personally a contract to keep Terrier at the club and to prevent him from moving. So it looks like his season's done. Jesus Vasquez looks like he is going to stay put in Spain as well. Looks like he's going to sign a new deal with Valencia, so that will put an end to any speculation around him leaving. Also, Leeds look like they've already sorted out the left back situation, so any left back outside of maybe Pedraza, because his name keeps lingering around, looks like they're probably going to fall off the radar at this stage. However, and this is where we move on a little bit to some other stuff, and according to the Mail Plus, very short news article here, the Mail Plus have said that Leeds want to make their second signing and could make it in a matter of days. They expect Leeds to move for their second January signing imminently and say that there is already moves in the works to get the deal done. They haven't said who it is. They have said it's an attacking player, but there's no detail around who the player is or what the move is. So we'll have to just wait and see. But they said there is movement of Leeds bringing in the second player, and Leeds aren't hanging around in this transfer window, which is great. That's what we want to see, isn't it? However, and this could be the second one. According to Sky Sports' Dave Reid, he believes that Leeds may make another bid to sign Bamba Dieng, the Marseille and Senegalese striker. You'll remember Bamba Dieng from the summer. He was our second choice to Cody Hakpo when Hakpo fell through with the private jet. The private jet was flown over to Marseille to pick up Bamba Dieng, bring him to Leeds to get the deal done on deadline day. Dieng decided to sit on the plane and have to take a phone call from Nice about a deal with them. He then decided to leave the plane and go to Nice, failed his medical in Nice, and ended up back in Marseille. And what Dave Reid is saying, that he says, whatever happened there, Leeds still need a striker. He's still available, and Leeds could make a move. Now, whether the medical is an issue, we don't know. He has played for Marseille since, has played in the World Cup, also scored in the World Cup. So there may be stuff there. My personal take on it is I think it's very hard for this one to be done, because just based on what Victor Orta said about the player, he was very vocal outside of Ellen Road talking about the player falling through, saying they were let down badly by the player. If the player is willing to swallow some humble pie here and accept what Orta said, the move could be back on. Maybe there is some talks going on in the background. But right now, I don't know about that one. But Dave Reid from Sky reckons it's a possibility. So we'll have to wait and see. Moving on, let's have a quick chat about some existing Leeds players. Matthias Klick, according to several sources, Klick is deep in negotiations with DC United, and the move is said to be probably in around 90% done. That doesn't mean he's going yet. There is a possibility of a U-turn and him staying. He is still talking to Leeds as well. And he has been getting more minutes on the pitch since the break. If you look at the games over pre-season, bar one that he missed with a virus, he pretty much featured in all the games as well, and got an extended period on the pitch at the weekend as well. So didn't do a whole lot when he came on. He has had impact in some games when he's come on. He hasn't had impact in other games. So it'll be interesting to see if Leeds decide they want to keep him around or not. But if they don't decide to keep him around, and if he does decide to go to DC United, Abdelhamid Sabiri a move back to the Premier League and a move to Leeds again, and the former Huddersfield and now Sampdoria midfielder has been linked according to Calcio Mercato. And what they've said is that Sampdoria want between £7 and £8 million from the player. It's not an awful lot. 26-year-old again did play in the World Cup with Morocco, had a decent showing as well. And other sources reckon Leeds could get the deal done for between £5.5 and £7 million, which would be a bit cheaper again. He's had a decent season, but there is interest from Lazio, Fiorentina and Torino as well. So we're keeping that in mind. There's not a huge amount of money floating around Serie A at the moment. So if Leeds wanted to nip in with a slightly bigger contract, they might be able to do that as well. That, again, as we said yesterday, I would have fully expect that as a midfielder coming in. I would fully expect that to tie in with Click leaving or Forshaw leaving. If one of them goes, someone needs to come in to replace them. I don't think they'll come in if we're not replacing them, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there again as well. And then finally, just to finish up with today, before we move into the West Ham game for tonight, Pat Bamford, according to Football Insider, Pat Bamford is expected to be on the sidelines for a little bit longer again, and longer than expected. They basically said that he's set for another extended period on sideline as he recovers from a hernia operation that he had in early December. That's the groin operation they said that he'd had. It's taken longer than it should, but then that's been the problem with Pat Bamford for the last 2 years. It's a real shame. I'm a big fan of Pat Bamford, and I want to see him in a Leeds shirt scoring goals again, but it's been tricky. It's been really tricky for him, so we'll have to sit back and wait and see. But yeah, won't be there tonight. We know that from Jesse Marsh's press conference last night. And then just moving on, talking briefly about the West Ham game tonight. We know that Bamford will be missing. We know Stuart Dallas is missing as well. And as of yesterday, we know that Luis Sinisterra is between 7 to 10 days away from being back involved with the full squad. They are minding that injury that he has, the Liz Frank injury that he has, very, very carefully to make sure that he can come back and make a full recovery without any reoccurrences of an injury. So that's good news for us as well. Outside of that, it looks like pretty much the same squad that we had the weekend. Chris Somerville looking to get more minutes on the park as well, but Willie Nanto's been doing really, really well there as well. It's a big game for Leeds. It's a big game. A win against West Ham will open a bit of a gap between us and them and the bottom three as well, and move us up to potentially 12th place in the Premier League with our game in hand if that's won as well. So it's not as doom and gloomy as it can appear, but we do need to get results. Tonight's a big game for Leeds, and a result is needed. Personally, I think it'll probably be something around like a 2-2 draw. I'm usually wrong on predictions, so if I say 2-2 draw, we might win. So 2-2 draw, it is. And that's pretty much it for today, folks. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you back here tomorrow for more Leeds news. See you then. Best luck with the game. Bye.